What's up? Welcome into the Chiefs Report live here on Rumble and on YouTube. And today's show is presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Chiefs. That promo code Chiefs will get you 20% off plus free shipping. Join the smooth sack summer with Manscaped right now. All right, what's up? Game week. We actually have some football to break down this week as the Chiefs play the Bears this Saturday. So shout out your city. Get this party started. Let us know where you guys are watching from. Shout out your city and just let us know what is going on. We got Fortson in there. We've got Ice in there. Ice always trying to get me with the name, but we see him in there. JD in Rochester. I'm DeBrown in Miami. Top City from Michael. We got Ice in Marshall, Missouri. Let's see. Kansas City is where PS4 is hanging out. We got Matt in Knoxville. Bill is in McPherson, Kansas. Let us know where you guys are. We're in Dallas, Texas, the Chat Sports Studios. Got producer Trace riding shotgun with me today, pushing all the buttons, keeping us on the air. Braden says Beloit, Kansas. Got more shout-outs coming in. Ocean Springs, Mississippi from Morgan Van Shiver. Let's see. Ice says, Harrison, how do you keep your beard so nice? Some beard oil, and it just shows up like this, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know what's funny? Producer Trace, you'll find this funny. My dad has never grown a beard in his entire life. And now this summer they've gone up to Colorado a couple times because we have a property up there. It's looking good. He's looking like Lovie Smith with the white Santa beard, so it's looking good. I think I inspired him a little bit. All right, hey, like I said, we got football this weekend. Football's back, baby. Are you going to watch the Chiefs preseason games? Y for yes and for no. You know, certain teams are more intriguing in the preseason than others. The Chiefs, it's like, yeah, you know, obviously you want to watch, but, you know, they're more of a veteran team. You know, you're kind of ready more so for week one. But I still want to know, will you watch? Y for yes and for no. PS4 says yes. Ice says yes. Tony says yes. So does Bill Chase. We got Jay saying yes. Tony and Ice Time saying yes. Braden Perez says yes. JD says no. Let's see. Heck yeah from Michael. 3 preseason games this year. JD says no. We got Tony saying yes. Who's going to be watching the preseason? You could also vote on the live poll. 91% say yes. 9% saying no. Luis says hopefully. We got Corey saying yes, sir. Will you guys be covering the game? We'll have post-game coverage of the first preseason game. Hopefully some live watch parties for the other 2, but we will have a post-game show this Saturday. Hell to the yes from Mr. Shalloin. Ice Time in there as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Someone, Ice asks, you saw the Raiders play in the Hall of Fame game. How do you feel about the Chiefs' chances of beating the Raiders? Throw hashtag Chiefs on that, Ice, and I'll answer it during a mailbag. So there you go. But I won't take much stock out of the Hall of Fame game. Pretty much none of the key starters outside of Josh Jacobs actually played anyway. All right, who is wide receiver 1? Type 1 if you think it's JuJu Smith-Schuster. Type 2 if you think it's Sky Moore. Type 3 if you think it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Or Type 4 if it's Mecole Hardman. Who's wide receiver 1? I think it's JuJu. So I'm typing my 1. Braden says 1. Michael says 2. I'm actually going to make this the poll question. I'm going to change this real quick. Who is wide receiver 1? Type 1, 2, 3, or 4. Seeing a lot of 1s. Tony, Elias, Mike. We got SJL saying 1, 2. Mike Marshall says 2. I don't think anyone has said 3 or 4. Someone says would love to see Hardman jump to number 1. Yeah, I just don't think he's ever going to be a number 1, but I do think he can be a more impactful player than he's been. Mike Marshall going with Sky Moore, so is Mr. Shalom Tiger and Jay Kelsey, but mostly 1s coming in. So get those votes in, vote on the live poll. Curious to see who you guys think is number 1. Someone says Travis Kelsey. Yeah, if you consider Kelsey as a part of it, then yes, he is obviously the number 1 target. But for purely wide receivers, I'll go JuJu 1, Sky Moore 2 right now. and then MVS and Mecole Hardman a little behind them. All right, 2 mailbags coming up today, so use hashtag Chiefs, or you can super chat. All super chats are guaranteed to get on the show, so we'll answer all of those questions. So use the hashtag Chiefs or super chat feature, and we will answer all of your questions. If you don't use one of those 2 functions, producer Trace will not be able to find your question. So hashtag Chiefs, or you can super chat. 2 mailbags coming up later on in the show. Speaking of preseason game number 1, get your score predictions in. Let us know who you think is going to win and what the final score is going to be between the Chiefs and the Bears. Still don't know completely who Kansas City is going to play, which starters will play. Typically, Andy Reid does play his starters at least a little bit in the preseason, so I would not be surprised if we saw a little bit of Patrick Mahomes here on Saturday, but we'll have to wait and see what he officially says. I do think he will play some. So let me know. Score predictions. Ice Time says 13-6. We got Casey 10-5, Tony. The Bears are going to score 5 points. Mike Tilson says 17-9. Kansas City. So get those score predictions in. Someone says Odell is washed. He's not washed when he's healthy. He looked pretty good in the playoffs last year. Michael says 21-7. Nick says 21-6 Chiefs. 35-21 Chiefs from Ice. Vegeta says 24-10. So keep getting those scores up there. All right, real ones, stand up and like the video as we're about to get the bulk of today's live show started here on the Chiefs Report, the latest training camp updates, plus your questions on our 2 mailbags. So if you love the Chiefs, like this video, hit that thumbs up icon, and we will answer as many questions as we possibly can. Only got 23 likes so far. That's just not going to cut it. So we need more likes, and let us know once you've liked it. Tony has liked it. Mike Tilson has liked it as always. He says 21-10, a score prediction coming in from Danny Denton. SJL says 20-6 Chiefs. 34 likes. Once we get to 40, we'll go. Let's get to 40 likes, and then we will start today's show. Someone says, I just want to see Chenal and Bolton destroy Josh Jacobs. That'd be nice. Leo Chenal can definitely stop the run. We'll see how much playing time he gets as he's still kind of developing as a coverage linebacker. Billy has liked it. Braden, Samuel, they've all liked it as well. There we go. 40 likes on today's show. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. Here we go. Let's jump on into today's Chiefs Report. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. It's smooth sack summertime with Manscaped, and if you want a smooth sack, head over to Manscaped. 20% off plus free shipping with promo code Chiefs at manscaped.com. All right, let's get you caught up on the latest Chiefs training camp news and rumors. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show. Lots of stuff to get into, so buckle up and stick with us here as training camp continues to progress along. The first preseason game is this Saturday, so we are going to have a lot of ground to cover throughout the week to get you ready for Chiefs versus Bears. All right, storyline number 1. Is JuJu Smith-Schuster starting to separate himself as the number 1 receiver in Kansas City? I think probably a little bit. JuJu has been standing out at camp according to multiple reports. He looks the part. Seems like every practice that goes by, he's making some sort of acrobatic catch. You can tell he and Patrick Mahomes got some work in the offseason, and they've started to build that camaraderie. And as we've talked about quite a bit here on the Chiefs Report, he is probably the most capable receiver in this room right now that can be that number 1 guy after losing Tyreek Hill via trade this offseason. So I think he is wide receiver 1 right now. Sky Moore has certainly stood out as well during training camp. I've got him penciled in as number 2. MVS, Mecole Hardman, they've both had their moments. Hardman really had a nice weekend during a couple of practices. Wide receiver 3 and 4. I'll continue to say this is interchangeable, very much in flux, but that's probably how I would rank it right now. But I do think all 4 of these guys are going to have a big role. But but if I had to lean one way, I do think JuJu will be the number one wide receiver for this football team. He's done it before. He's played at high levels in the past. He's healthy now. I think he's poised to have a really, really big year in this Chiefs offense, and if he does, he's going to get paid next offseason. Now, who do you guys think is wide receiver one, at least right now? Type 1 for JuJu Smith-Schuster, type 2 for Sky Moore, type 3 for Marquez Valdes-Scantling, type 4 for Mecole Hardman. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know who is wide receiver one for the Kansas City Chiefs. Storyline number 2, are the Chiefs feeding Mecole Hardman in different ways, trying to get him more involved in the offense? Well, James Palmer, who was at the Chiefs practice over the weekend, I think he was at Sunday's practice, jotted down a few notes. He talked about JuJu separating himself. Also, he said Mecole Hardman looks good, fresh. They're using him in Wildcat, different ways to get the ball in his hands. And I like the strategy of getting him more touches. I think that is something that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy need to do more this year, is get Mecole Hardman the football more. Get him more touches week in and week out. Doesn't always have to be him running normal wide receiver routes, jet sweeps. I'm not a big Wildcat guy, but if there are a couple of situational plays per game where it makes sense to utilize him in that way, I'm fine with that as well. You can just line him up in the backfield next to Patrick Mahomes as a running back and use him in some creative ways via the run or the pass out of the backfield. He's too explosive, too fast to not get him, I'd say, at least 5 touches a game. I think he should be one of those players that you get more involved, especially if, he's got limitations as a route runner. Just get him the ball in different ways. Use him as a gadget guy. There's nothing wrong with that. He's been a good player for this team, but he's just never really taken massive steps, throughout his first 3 years. And if he's just a player that say, you know what, he runs these 3 or 4 routes well, but beyond that, he's kind of limited, that's okay. Recognize that, build on his strengths. What are his strengths? Yards after the catch, pure straight line speed, his, twitchiness with the ball in his hands. He can make people miss. You can find a way to get a player like that the football, and I think that I like the sound of what they're saying, where they're going to get him the ball in space, in different opportunities to get him more involved in the offense, because he's entering a contract year. If he doesn't have a big year this year, his future in Kansas City very much in doubt, as he's set to be a free agent next year. Subscribe to the channel, because we're going to continue to have non-stop Chiefs news, rumors, more videos all season long. The season's here, so game previews, post-game shows, some live watch parties. We'll have that coming your way as well, something to look forward to. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. We will continue to bring you the latest Chiefs news and rumors all season long, because football is back. All right, storyline number 3 here on the Chiefs Report. Trent McDuffie, he looks the part. James Palmer also commented on that. Other reports coming in that he's starting to make more and more plays. He's certainly getting beat some. He's a rookie. The Chiefs have talented receivers. But I think what is clear is that Trent McDuffie has CB1 potential. I'm not saying he's a CB1 right now, or that he's even going to be one this year or ever. He's got a long way to go. But he has that upside to be that type of player in this defense. I still think right now the CB unit is very much in flux. Obviously, Rashad Fenton, who is arguably this team's best corner last year, along with Charvarius Ward, he's out on the PUP list. Things are in flux. The Chiefs just cut DeAndre Baker, so players are definitely stepping up. Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams. Obviously, Snead is healthy, playing well. Najee Johnson has made some plays. So Trent McDuffie, it's good to see him playing well early. And the cornerback unit as a whole, the fact that they cut DeAndre Baker before the first preseason game, that tells me that the corner position is probably in a pretty good spot right now. The Chiefs feel good. We keep hearing these rookies' names too, not just McDuffie, but Williams and Watson making plays out there as well. Najee Johnson's popped off a couple of times. So a lot of competition in that secondary, and DeAndre Baker fell behind, so they went ahead and parted ways. Best of luck to him. But as far as McDuffie, the first-round pick, goes, I think he's in a good spot. He's only going to continue to get better and better. Which Chiefs rookie are you most excited for when it comes to the Chiefs? And I think that is one thing as, we get into the preseason here. Rookies get a lot of reps, opportunities for them to show up and show out. So which rookie are you most excited for at this point in time. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. I mentioned it's Smooth Sack Summer with Manscaped right now. Well, if you want a smooth sack, get the Lawnmower 4.0 for 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Chiefs. Marked down on price. Still an investment, certainly, and I understand that, but I've had mine for well over a year now. Battery lasts a long time. It's waterproof, as you can use it in the shower, wireless charging station, and after you clean things up with that proper men's grooming tool, the Lawnmower 4.0, throw on the Boxers 2.0. They launched their newest boxer collection here. Very comfortable, plenty of room for your stuff downstairs to breathe and feel good because it's hot outside. And, sometimes, it can get a little swampy down there. You want to have plenty of breathing room for your two buddies downstairs. So go ahead and get going with Manscaped. Promo code Chiefs at manscaped.com. That'll get you 20% off and free shipping. All right, some more injury updates. Not a ton new on that front, but some stuff to be aware of. Lucas Niang, Rashad, Fenton continue to be on the PUP list for Kansas City right now. Jody Fortson has now missed 7 straight practices. Andy Reid initially said it's not considered serious, but 7 practices, that's over a week of missed time with a quad strain, so we'll see how long that carries through. Darius Fountain dealing with the groin issue. He's kind of day-to-day right now. Taylor Stallworth, the defensive tackle, dealing with the knee injury. I think out of all these, obviously Niang and Fenton, you want to get them back soon. They're starting caliber players, but I really want to see Jody Fortson get back because I think he can be a weapon in this offense, but popped the Achilles last year. Now he's got this quad thing. You're hoping there's not a pattern here that he's not an injury-prone player because I think he can be a big-time weapon, especially in the red zone for this Chiefs offense. So I'm going to continue to monitor that. I would say at this point, since he wasn't back at practice on Monday, his status for preseason game number 1 against the Bears, probably in doubt. I would be surprised if he played this week, but hopefully he can get back and play in 1 or 2 of the remaining preseason games. All right, let's start about Frank Clark. Last storyline here. He continues to stand out. Listen, I don't want to jump the gun here, ironic because Uzi Clark, but look, you keep hearing reports. He's lean, he's quick. Are we going to see a different Frank Clark this year? I hope so. I really, really do. He looks the part at training camp. He's getting off the edge quicker than he has the past couple years. We told you guys about the reporting about him cutting his diet. No more red meat, cut out liquor as well. I think he understands how critical this year is. Because the production's been waning for him. His first year he had 8 sacks, pretty good year, great in the playoffs. Next year fell off a bit to 6 sacks. Last year 4.5. He's been trending in the wrong direction, but he shed some weight. He seems more committed right now, so I hope we see a different Frank Clark. I'm not going to overreact based on a week or 2 of training camp practices, but I'm hopeful. Could we see it? Could we see a different Frank Clark this year? I guess we'll have to wait and see how things progress into the regular season. I'm not going to overreact to camp and preseason. But so far, so good. We know the talent's there. We've seen it in the past. Now it's up to him to produce on Sundays. Are you buying the Frank Clark hype? I'm buying low. I'm not going to buy high. So how about I'll be typing a lowercase y because I'm not ready to fully commit here. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Are you buying the Frank Clark hype? Let us know in the comments. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's Chiefs News and Rumors segment from training camp. Subscribe to the channel as we will continue to bring you the latest updates from St. Joseph. Also, you got to the end of the video, so it's Real One roll call time. Comment Real One down in the comment section below, as if you're a Real One and you love the Chiefs, always comment Real One at the end of our videos. All right, we'll get some shout-outs going. If you're a Real One, type Real One in the chat. Ice says Real One, PS4 saying Real One, so is Tony Fuentes. We got Ben, who's a Real One. 130 people watching live right now. Quinn says Real One. Tony in there. We got Mike, Billy, SJL, Vegeta. We got JD, Invisible. They're all Real Ones. Let's see. Are you going for that Fitzmagic look? Not bad, right? Not bad. I thought about, after I got back from my Italy vacation, shaving everything except the stash and trying to rock an Andy Reid look for a day or 2. Might still do it. I think I could have an Andy Reid type of stash right now. Maybe I'll do that at what point. Let me see. Skip that one because we're actually not doing it for this first one. Maximo says real one. Daniel says real one. Roderick says real one. Kareem Hunt. Oh, man. Bring him back, huh? All right. It is mailbag time here, so use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get your questions answered live on the show. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to answer all of we'll answer all of your questions. If you Super Chat, you can jump the line. It's like the Fast Pass at Disney World, and we'll get to those questions first. Otherwise, use hashtag Chiefs. We'll answer as many of those as we possibly can. All right, help us out here in just a moment by loading up those questions, hashtag Chiefs, or you can Super Chat. We're going to get to your questions in just a moment on today's Chiefs Rumors mailbag, but help us out. We're trying to get to 31,000 subs before the preseason opener on Saturday against the Chicago Bears. So hit that subscribe button. Help us get there. We're less than 200 subs away. We are knocking on the door. 187 away. Spread the word. Show your friends. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Be like, hey, this guy does daily Chiefs content trying to get to 31,000 subs. I would greatly appreciate it, so go ahead and subscribe right now. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Thanks for tuning in and watching today's show, and thanks for everyone who's about to submit their questions. Use hashtag Chiefs, or you can Super Chat. Ice. Still not falling for it. You saw the Raiders play in the Hall of Fame game. How do you feel about the Chiefs' chances against the Raiders? Well, sure, the Raiders look good, but mostly backups, right? But I do think there are things you can take away from preseason games, even with backups. Schematic things, obviously a new coaching staff with Josh McDaniels. They did play Josh Jacobs a decent amount. He looked fresh. I think that offensive line has question marks in Vegas. Hopefully the Chiefs front is able to get some pressure. Still not worried about the Raiders, but they should be a solid team. I mean, Devontae Adams gives them a real alpha male number one receiver. They got Waller, Renfro, Jacobs. Carr isn't great, but he's a good NFL quarterback. So, yeah, it's a divisional game. They're going to be dangerous. There's no doubt about it. Braden Perez, do you think Rojo may lose his spot to Pacheco? You know, we hear more about Isaiah Pacheco than Ronald Jones in camp, which is pretty fascinating because I think when they signed Ronald Jones, it was almost as, hey, if Clyde doesn't work out, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're going to be our guy. Haven't heard much about Rojo so far. Doesn't mean he hasn't looked good. I think running backs at camp kind of can look differently than receivers because you throw more in camp because there's less contact. So take it with a grain of salt, but I'll say this. There's real competition there, and Pacheco, he's come to play, that's for sure. Parker with a question. If Patrick Mahomes balls out without Tyreek Hill, will he win MVP this year? This is a good question. If Mahomes has the best or close to the best year of his career and it's without Tyreek Hill, that does a couple of things. One, it ends any doubt that Mahomes is the real deal. I don't know why there's any of that to begin with, but some people out there are like, well, Tyreek Hill's not there. He's going to fall apart. And two, if he does that, it's twofold. They're going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, he is the real deal, and he is the most valuable player in the National Football League. So, yeah, say he throws for close to 5,000 yards, 40-plus touchdowns, and less than 10 picks without the cheetah, that's going to be a pretty good little bullet point on his resume. Will Patrick Mahomes win MVP this year? We'll flip that question around and ask you. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Prediction time here on the Chiefs Report. Will Patrick Mahomes win NFL MVP this year? Give me a Y for yes, or you can give me an N for no. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get those questions in so we can get to as many as possible. Mr. Sheolin Tiger, Super Bowl bound. I hope so, man. There's no reason why this team can't. Now, as we've documented a lot this offseason, the AFC is a beast. I mean, Buffalo is only going to keep getting better. We'll see what happens with Cleveland and Deshaun Watson, but if he's allowed to play, they're going to be a dangerous team. Baltimore, Cincinnati, the defending AFC champs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, all in the division are going to be tough. I think Miami could be a good team. The Patriots aren't going to be a slouch. I mean, the AFC, guys, the Colts, it is loaded. It is a loaded conference. There's going to be no weeks off, that's for sure. Ice time, which rookie are you most excited about, and who will have the biggest impact? Oh, that's a good question. While I think about it, you guys should answer as well. I'll ask you. I already had this question queued up for later. Which rookie are you most excited for? probably Trent McDuffie, but Sky Moore is close. Those are definitely the two. But this Pacheco kid, you keep hearing stuff about him. He could be a fun player. Josh Williams, Jalen Watson, some later round picks that could be exciting. So it sounds like Brett Veach did a pretty good job. Sounds like this rookie draft class could be really good. Mike Marshall, should we go after OBJ? I'm definitely not saying no. It sounds like he's going to wait until the regular season, see where teams are at for once he's fully healthy, because he's not 100% right now. If he gets 100% and the Chiefs are in contention and they could use another weapon, absolutely. I would absolutely sign Odell Beckham Jr. up and get him on this team, because I think he would only help down the stretch of the season. Almighty Goat, will Trent McDuffie play in the preseason? I fully expect him to. He should. He's a rookie. Doesn't matter where you were drafted as a rookie. First round, fifth round, you should play in the preseason. You got to get those live reps. So I think the answer is going to be yes, no doubt about it. All right, Chiefs fans, we got a deal for you. Our T-shirt combo is back, as you can get both of these shirts for 40% off at chatsports.com/Chiefs combo. You get a two-shirt combo for just $29.99 right now. Normally it is $50. Pick this up today. Represent the Chiefs all season long at chatsports.com/Chiefs combo. Link in the comments and in the description of this video. Eric Binion, should the Chiefs trade for Kareem Hunt? If so, what would it take? It's a good question. Would I do it? Probably not. And to be honest, I don't think the Chiefs would either. They kicked him off the team for that video surfacing between him and his girlfriend. Kind of would feel weird to go back on that now. I don't think that's going to happen. Cam Little, should the Chiefs play their starters in the preseason? Absolutely. Absolutely they should. You guys just asked with McDuffie. Now, it's a fair question to ask, should Patrick Mahomes play at all in the preseason? But I like getting guys some reps. I mean, I just think it's important to get some of that rust knocked off in the preseason. Not saying play them a lot, but playing them a little bit, I think it could make some sense. I don't mind playing starters some. So I would expect them to, and I think they should, to be quite frank. Would you play starters here in the preseason? You're in charge, because a lot of coaches don't these days. Andy Reid does. He's old school, but would you? Type P for play, type W for wouldn't. You would not. Obviously, the risk is you play a starter and he gets hurt, but you're at risk of getting hurt every time you lace it up at practice too. So P for play or W for would not. Couple more here. Wendigo, who gets the starting right tackle position while Niang is out? If I had to guess, Andrew Wiley. Darian Kennard, the rookie, has been a bit up and down during camp. I don't think he's ready, so I'd probably go Andrew Wiley. Is got a good chance of being the week one starting right tackle, but we'll see. I would opt with that experience, but there are a few other options. You could go Roderick Johnson as well, but I would lean on Wiley. PS4, which unit should we worry about more, wide receiver or corner? I don't know if worry is the right part. I guess corner. Obviously wide receiver has some question marks, but I still think you have enough good players there that you're going to be fine. Corner, I like the talent, but Rashad Fenton is still hurt. McDuffie's a rookie, so I guess I would lean cornerback there. Chief KT, I hope Hardman leaves because Chiefs Kingdom be too disrespectful. I don't feel like I've been disrespectful. I think Mecole Hardman's been a good player, but not great. I don't think he's taken that next step to be special. Maybe he's just not a special player, and that's okay, but I think he's valuable to have, and I would like to bring him back for the right price, but he's not a player you overpay. He's not a number one receiver, and that's okay. But I don't think it's crazy to say we were all hoping for a little bit more either. We'll see if it happens this year. Laura Ortiz, what about DJ Moore trade? He is statistically around the same as Terry McLaurin. DJ Moore's fantastic. He's a great player, but Carolina's trying to win now. Matt Rule's on the hot seat. They just traded for Baker Mayfield. I do not expect them to trade DJ Moore at all, but let's be clear. He would absolutely feast in this Chiefs offense. Appreciate you guys for submitting your questions on today's Chiefs Report. Hit that sub button here on the channel for more Chiefs news, rumors, training camp updates, and preseason coverage. We won't disappoint you, I promise you on that. So hit that sub button right now. All right, one more mailbag to go. We'll get to that in a moment, but in the meantime, like this video, If you love the Chiefs, hit that like button. Let's get a few more likes on today's show. Let's cross 75 likes. Come on. We're at 63 right now. Let's get to 75, and then we will keep it moving here in just a moment. Sure. We'll get some more answers on this. Will Mahomes win MVP? Y for yes, N for no. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Tony spamming the chat. I told you guys earlier, post-game show Saturday. That is the plan, post-game show. So be on the lookout. We will try to do live watch parties for the other two preseason games. So stay tuned for that. Will Mahomes win MVP? Tony says yes. Maddie says yes. Wyatt and Polar say yes. SJL says yes. Guillermo says yes. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Mike Tilson says yes as well. All right, one more mailbag. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Those are the two ways to get on the show. That way producer Trace can find all of your questions, and we'll answer as many as we possibly can. So you use hashtag Chiefs, or you can Super Chat here on the show. Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Mailbag time coming up, so get those questions in by using the hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and we're going to go ahead and answer all of your questions. We'll start with question number 1 here. BB. Do you think JuJu will break that 1,100-yard mark? And if so, do you think we will extend him or let him go? Yeah, that'll be interesting. If he has a big year, I mean, he's probably going to be a $20+ million player per year on a new deal. Like if he goes for, say, 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns, someone's going to pay him a lot. I don't know if Brett Veach will be the GM to do it. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But the Chiefs just had a price tag of what seems to be about $25 million per year for Tyreek Hill. Can't imagine they'd go more than about 20, 22 for JuJu if he balls out. But young player, talented. If he has a huge year, it's a good problem for the Chiefs and JuJu to have. JD Hollowell, do you think not signing Orlando this offseason could come back to hunt us? I mean, the risk is, JD, that he plays like an all-pro left tackle this year, and then you have to reset the market with him. I don't know if you would have had to do that this year with Orlando Brown to get him secured on a long-term deal. But, yeah, if he plays well, the price goes up. So that's the risk. But I don't blame them for doing it because what you don't want to do is overpay, and then he's just a good player, not a great one. If you're paying someone great money, you want them to be great. So big opportunity for Orlando Brown to be great this year and then cash in next offseason. Braden Perez, will Carlos Dunlap have a better season than Frank Clark? I don't know. Based on the last couple of years, I would say yes. I do, with Frank Clark being younger and coming into camp leaner and quicker, you know, his upside is probably higher than Dunlap's, who's 33 years old. But I think the safe bet would be Dunlap is going to be more productive, especially per snap. He'll probably play a few less snaps as an older player, but I hope they're both great. If they're both really good, with Chris Jones in the middle there, it's gonna bode well for the Chiefs front. Maverick, Kareem Hunt wants out of Cleveland. Should the Chiefs trade for him? Yeah, there's been some Hunt trade rumors. Sounds like he requested a trade, but it also sounds like Cleveland denied that request, basically saying you're not going anywhere. I think the ship has sailed, guys. Y'all have asked me before, could Kareem Hunt come back here? There's no doubt the talent. There's no doubt he fit in super well here. When he was in Kansas City, he was a top 5, top 6 running back in the NFL. He fit into this system very well. He can run the ball, catch the ball, block pretty well also. I just think, when you get kicked off out of an organization for a domestic violence video surfacing, I don't know how that gets repaired. I think he's moved on. I think the Chiefs have moved on. Obviously, he was a great player here, but I just can't imagine that those two sides could rekindle that situation. Would you bring Kareem Hunt back to KC? Be honest. You're in charge. If the opportunity was there, would you do it? We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So type Y for yes, or you can type N for no. Billy B, will George Karlaftis bounce inside a lot with Dunlap on the edge? I do think so, Billy. I think Karlaftis, a big part of that Dunlap signing was the Karlaftis impact. A, he doesn't have to be a starter right away. B, he can play inside, he can play out. I think he's got that versatility to move around at 280 pounds, so I like that quite a bit. It gives Steve Spagnuolo more flexibility and options with this defensive line rotation. Sean Hooker, will all the talk about the Chargers being a good team in the AFC, do you think that the Chiefs will take the AFC West? Still think the Chiefs are the favorites, but I've said consistently this offseason, I think the Chargers are the biggest threat to KC. Polar Splash, do you think Sky Moore could win Offensive Rookie of the Year? I do think it's possible. Would I predict it? Not necessarily, but I think it's a possibility for a couple reasons. One, there's no obvious quarterback. Kenny Pickett's been struggling at camp. Malik Willis isn't going to start. I don't think any rookies are starting out there unless Desmond Ridder wins the job in Atlanta. I guess that's possible, but I don't think that'll be the case. So that probably means a receiver is going to win it. Sky Moore's in an explosive offense. Could happen. You never know. Jordan Ramsey. Nice. What about Gordon Ramsay? Do you think all positions are filled to begin the season better than last season? I think the only one I was very concerned about was the defensive line, especially that edge spot, but Dunlap's addition helps. I would like one more player there, but I think you're okay overall. Corner could maybe be another question mark. You lost Charvarius Ward, but you drafted Trent McDuffie. A couple other rookies have stood in there and looked strong now. We don't know how long this Rashad Fenton injury is going to linger, but I think overall you're pretty good. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's exit hurts, but I think the depth of the wide receiver position is actually better than last year. So, yeah, if you can, make the adjustments to not having a Tyreek Hill in your offense, I think on paper this team is very, very good once again. Laura Ortiz, what about a Tevin Jenkins trade? Possibly. Back at practice with the Bears this past weekend. We'll see how he does this week, throughout the week, depending on when you're watching this. But, maybe. We'll see what the Bears want to do there. We'll see what Jenkins wants. He claims to want to stay in Chicago, but he might just be saying the right things. We don't really know for sure at this point in time. Do you think the Chiefs need to sign another edge or defensive tackle? I think another body on that defensive line could certainly help. Maybe when there's roster cuts around the league, Kansas City could add a body there. I don't think a high-level player will happen, but maybe a depth signing. If you have question marks about Josh Kando, maybe get a slightly better edge option there. If you want some more depth on the defensive tackle, like an Ndamukong Suh, could certainly go in that direction also. Support the show. 2 ways to do it. Subscribe to the Chiefs Report on YouTube and help us reach 31,000 subscribers. We are almost there. Another way to do it, follow us on Rumble. We're trying to get to 4,000 followers on Rumble as soon as possible. Rumble.com/ChiefsTV. Help us get there. Help us reach our milestones here on the Chiefs Report. KCK saw ESPN's FPI give the Broncos and Chargers a better chance to make the playoffs than the Chiefs. Thoughts? I think that's interesting. I mean, the Chiefs have a tougher schedule than both, so I get that because it's a computer metric system. It doesn't factor in, it doesn't factor in, the human element of it, if that makes sense. I still think the AFC West is the Chiefs to lose. Until someone comes and takes it, Kansas City is and should be the favorite. Now, again, I'll continue to say it. I think the Chargers are going to be a damn good football team. Justin Herbert's legit. That defense added 2 Pro Bowl caliber players in Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, both with all-pro potential, to an already talented defense. Derwin James is back. Denver added Russell Wilson. Huge deal, obviously. Vegas added Devontae Adams. Big deal for them. So this is a 4-team division. There's no doubt, but I'm still going to lean as Kansas City is the favorite. But what do you guys think? Who's going to win the West? Type KC for the Chiefs. Type LAC for the Chargers. You can type LV for the Raiders or DEN for the Broncos. I'm going to go Chiefs 1, Chargers 2, Broncos 3, Raiders 4. Let me know what you guys think down below. Got time for a few more here. Maximo, do you think we just answered this question, Maximo. Jordan Ramsey here. Do you think Justin Tucker's new contract will make Harrison Butker want the same? If I'm Butker and his agent, I'm asking for something similar. I think Tucker got 4 years, $24 million, about $6 million per year. I at least want 5 or 5.5 if I'm Butker. Now, objectively, Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the NFL, if not one of the best of all time. But Butker's top 3, top 4 right now. A couple seasons ago, he had that weird extra point issue, but last year got back on track there, had a really good season. He's one of the best kickers historically from 50-plus as well. Harrison Butker is probably going to be asking for a pretty hefty price for a kicker, and you're probably going to have to pay it because not having a kicker leaves you in trouble in some tight games. BB again. I was very surprised about the lack of hype with Clyde in 2021, considering he almost rushed for 1,000 in his rookie season. He actually has the talent, just needs to stay healthy. Top RB1. Is he top RB1 material? I don't think he's like elite front-end RB1 potential, but could he be a lower-end RB1 where like he's a 1,000-yard rusher, catches for 300 or 400 yards, something like that? Yeah, I think it's possible. The problem with him is he just doesn't have any explosiveness. Like, he rarely rips off a 30-yard run, you know what I'm saying? Something he's really good at, though, is like finding tough yards. You know, the defensive line wins the rep, and he has nowhere to go, but he turns a negative 1-yard carry into a 2 or 3 yard carry. He at 5'7", he's got strong lower legs as well. He's able to kind of carve his way and get tough yardage. He's really good at that, but to be an elite RB1, you got to catch the ball really well, which he did pretty well in college, but they haven't done it as much in the NFL. And you got to have explosiveness, and he has not shown the ability to run away from defenders in the NFL. Laura Ortiz, do you see a possibility of us trading or picking up Josh Jacobs in the future? You're not going to trade for him. The Raiders are not going to trade Josh Jacobs within the division, but if he enters free agency next year, I think he's exactly the type of back the Chiefs could be interested in him, depending on how Clyde does this season. So, yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. Not via trade. It would have to be as an offseason signing. All right, Real One roll call. If you made it to the end of the video, spam Real One down below. Also, pick up a Real One t-shirt. We got them available right now for, I think, $27.99. Pretty good price there. Chatsports.com/RealKC. If you're a Real One and love the Chiefs, comment Real One. Also, purchase this shirt. Link in the comments and in the description like you saw right there. Get the Real Ones going in the comment section because you made it to the end of the video, and that, my friends, makes you a Real One. So comment Real One down in the comments right now. All right, appreciate all the Real One love. Polar's in there, Sean is in there, Invisible is in there, so is Isaac and Braden. Get those score predictions in for Chiefs preseason game number 1 against the Chicago Bears this Saturday. We'll have a post-game show. We'll have a preview later on in the week, some things to watch out for. Kind of want to wait a couple days, see if Andy Reid makes it clear who's playing and who won't. So stay in the loop with that by subscribing to the channel, and then we will have you guys covered. If you have any score predictions, we'll get some shout-outs going here, and then we'll just go ahead and sign off here on YouTube. Ice says 35-21. He's also asking about a fantasy football league with subs. We'll see. I'll look into it. Don't want to make any promises. SJL says 20-6. Mike Tilson says 17-9. Tony Fuentes says Chiefs 10, Bears 5. All right, Chiefs Kingdom, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Shout out producer Trace for producing this thing. I am Harrison Graham. We are going to sign off here on the Chiefs Report.